Today's erotic little saga is called Don't Tell Our Husbands. Deborah and I had been the best of friends for over 10 years. That's an inch and a half in breast-dropping years. We would get together most days and joyously bitch about the price of milk and our husbands. They were nice enough guys, but truth be told, I much preferred Debbie's company to that of Jack's, especially after a couple of glasses of afternoon wine. Man, that girl could make you laugh. We had so much fun together, but our relationship took a rather radical turn during some inclement weather. It had been quite an unseasonably chilly September. Something about a wind, or perhaps it was some tourists coming down from Canada. Anyway, it was fucking glacial inside and out, and Debbie needed a new, thicker nightie. She was freezing her cute little patootie off in the one she typically enswathed. Her go-to boudoir attire had been a short, thin, come-hither little number, but after 15 years of marriage, she said she'd rather stay warm and get that extra 15 minutes of sleep. So we hit our favorite clothing store. Debs quickly gathered up a few snug-looking possibilities, and we headed into the changing room to check them out. She wanted to see how warm it was actually going to be in real life, so she took all her clothes off. She didn't ask me to duplicate Doug's snoring. Christ, you could hear him from our house. But being sans attire would give her a reasonable approximation of the wee small hours at Chez Deborah's. It was a cramped changing area, so the act of disrobing with me in the cubicle was a pretty up-close and personal affair. At one point, she was bending over, checking something out, and I had her naked rump pressed against my pelvis. I gave it a friendly smack and said, "You've still got a really nice ass there, Deb." "Ooh, I like a little slap and tickle," she replied. "Well, if I ever decide to bat for the other team, you'd be my first choice," I offhandedly remarked. She stood up and turned around with a big smile on her face. Her naked breasts were touching my clothed ones, and I felt a little rush of something stirring between my legs. They were so pink and plump. I was struck with the overwhelming urge to reach up and explore them at length, but propriety forbade me from violating her modesty. "Are you saying you're attracted to me?" she grinned. She seemed strangely delighted by the idea. What, me? No, you're a woman. I just said if. But you've had the odd roll around with a member of the same sex, right? Well, no. How could I not know this about you? Deb was so close to me now. Another step and she'd have been behind me. I became a little flustered by how turned on I was by the smell and the feel of her. I tell you what, why don't we go back to my place and test out the mattress in the guest bedroom before Doug gets home? I was almost too stunned to think. "Are you asking me to?" She leaned in and kissed me, but not a cute little girlfriend kiss, a full-on, mouth-open, tongues-touching smooch. She grabbed my butt with one hand and was stroking my left boob with the thumb of her other. I tensed for a second, and then I just melted. It felt so warm and wet and wonderful to be connected to her in that way.
Well, I know it's only love,